Looks like we're ready to hop into this Hunter battle. Beast Hunter versus Mech Hunter. Let's hop into it now.
We're not wasting any time here, Valdez.
Yeah.
As you can see, some interesting tech already in this mulligan. As you can see over on Cocosasa's side. He has decided to bring Mossy Horror with him, which I could imagine is something that you'd want against, say, Zoo Warlock. We do have one player that's brought Zoo Warlock in today, which I find incredibly weird because we haven't seen a lot of that recently. I was actually surprised we didn't have everyone just playing Cyclone Mage. I thought that we'd just have all Cyclone Mage.
Seems to be the meta, especially in Europe. We were discussing this before. Lots of Mage mirrors, Mage versus Warrior.
It's not a Hearthstone in Europe. It's Mage Stone. We're playing
Stone.
Mage Stone now.
And we have a couple of players that did come here with the Warrior, but only one player came with the Cyclone Mage. So definitely interesting to see that amongst the 8 players that we do have here in this qualifier.
And 3 Hunters as well. Vicious Scalehide here is going to come down and trade pretty nicely with the Mecharoo, but double Mecharoo in hand for Cocosasa to start things off feels pretty nice. And also just having Fireworks tech in your hand at the beginning makes you feel so good. That's where all the value comes from. As this Mech Hunter, as the Magnetize, pretty strong as it turns out, Valdez.
Great trade so far. Not going to allow that Headhunter's Hatchet to...
Well, I mean, this is where you've got a really interesting question on your hands here, because do you actually play the Shimmerfly and get it killed when, of course, the Spider Bomb goes off, or do you just play Headhunter's Hatchet and then play Shimmerfly afterwards and give up the durability? It's whether you want one durability on your weapon or if you want to leave a beast on the board. I'd actually probably play the Shimmerfly second if it was me, but we'll see.
He's thinking about it now, you can tell.
Yeah, there's something to be said for actually getting your random spell beforehand so you can think about it. But
yeah, I kind of like the durability. I don't know, I feel like he's going to be trading a lot with a bunch of the other minions that will be on the board here from the side of Cocosasa. He's going to start off with that and pick up a spell. Is Explosive Trap.
Explosive Trap, not too bad. Venomizer comes into the hand and we'll see exactly what the plan is here. Just another Mecharoo. Seems pretty simple. Wow, even going to magnetize it.
Yeah, just getting in there already with the 3/3s. That means that, of course, the Hatchet can't trade by itself, but a Mark Shot is here.
Yeah, you're playing right into a Mark Shot turn. That's 4 mana, and that's something that any Hunter should be waiting to play.
The value.
Turn 4.
Yeah.
Master's Call for the Beast Hunter. Feels pretty good.
Yeah.
I think he's wondering whether or not he should curve into Baited Arrow, given the fact that he doesn't have a fantastic turn 5 coming up. But I mean, you just play Master's Call, man.
I know, it's so good. I mean, it works so well with the deck, of course, but as you were mentioning, definitely that's what he's thinking about right now, especially if he could get Overkill. Maybe thinking about if there's some other kind of card that's going to come out here with 2 health.
Yeah.
He's going to take it.
He does want to be playing around Magnetize as well, so clearing the board here is very important, but he is taking the Baited Arrow regardless. Explodinator is a good draw. It plays into the Baited Arrow, but leaves a couple of mechs on board. And so you won't be able to clear all of them if the Baited Arrow just comes down by itself. Interesting.
Yeah, you could see that Hatchet doing really well so far.
I think you have to play Baited Arrow here.
It's so much value, right? You could just take out the you could take out a bomb first and then get that going, but he's going to go with tracking instead. See what he can find here.
Not exactly a whole lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, Scalehide you could take, but I'd probably look towards Animal Companion. Oh, I don't know. It's going to take the Scalehide. Means that next turn he can play it with a Dire Frenzy if he wants to just chuck some big rushes in the deck.
The Explosive Trap is interesting too, where you can just throw that up and be like, well, we could just chill, but instead, no chilling, just yet. It's early on in the morning, but already getting aggressive here. Wants to get the trades going right now.
Yeah, I like that you get to chuck one to face here as well and have 3 minions on board. Replicating Menace is an option. You can clear one, but and then I guess there's Spider Bomb Fireworks tech, which could help, but I just don't know whether you want to be using those resources right now on just some hounds.
Ooh, I wonder what this does.
It does feel like he is, you know, struggling a little bit to take the board.
I like that he throws the bomb straight upstairs as well, because I just don't think you really care about leaving these hounds on board, because the beast synergy is going to be there anyway, right? Because there's a guaranteed one left over.
He has the health lead.
Ooh, and this feels real nice, though.
Yeah. And he gets another look at a bunch of good options, actually.
Yeah, you can take the tracking and just keep looking further through your deck, but multi-shot is going to be what he decides to go for. I just think that multi-shot is such a terrible spell, man.
Yeah.
It's been bad forever.
Especially with all the magnetize that's going on. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it might work out. Well,
that's a big board.
Yeah.
And that is it's a.
You know what's really good against that board, Max, or Atlas, is Explosive Trap.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it?
I've heard it's pretty good. And you know what he might be expecting is a Rat Trap or something else that you might see from a Beast Hunter. But it's in fact not going to be that.
Oh, and the Dire Frenzy turn is going to come down. So that'll allow him to clear this one off, meaning that no tokens survive if anyone goes face. Will protect his life total here as well. I actually really like the choice of going Scalehide with the Dire Frenzy. I feel like Scalehide's in there for the defensive choice, and then you've got your Rhino. If you manage to draw that and have a Dire Frenzy in your hand on turn 9, that's what feels like the nuts. Not going to be how it goes.
Well,
and what were we talking about, Brandon? Valdez. Sorry, guys. We hang out a lot outside of broadcast.
Yeah.
We don't spend a lot of time actually on a show together.
Is this our first time together, actually?
I think so.
One broadcast?
I think so.
Wow.
Doesn't really feel like it, does it?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this should have happened eventually, but I guess this is that eventuality that did happen.
Yep.
Look at all that life gain he got as well. It's so good.
Exactly. That's 8 health back from that 1/2 mana minion. Feels pretty good, man. And now it's just...
Look at him in the bottom right.
You got to do it, Coco. I'm sorry. You just have to test for it. And unfortunately, is exactly what you thought. But does at least manage to establish, but that's it. We're top decking from here on out, because this is the problem with the Mech Hunter. He decides not to actually go for the Magnetize there, just to keep something in his hand, but it's a little bit of a worry. Because Scalehide comes in now, and then he gets value. He gets value with the Baited Arrow as well, man. Like,
I don't know, Atlas. I think this game is over.
Yep.
You were talking about how this Mech Hunter can run out of steam, and well, we're seeing it right now, especially with all the great draws that
Leroy to
Florian
face
has
concede.
had.
Leroy to face concede. That's what I want.
Don't forget the hero power as well.
Oh, that's true. That's true. And I mean, he does have a life lead of 5, but I just don't know how he's supposed to get this board back.
Yeah.
You just don't have that many options. I think both Spider Bombs are down anyway, and that is often how you wrestle board back. Just having a look at this deck, I mean, what are the options? Missile Launcher and Venomizer. That's his out.
That's it.
But,
That's the combo.
We're getting real close to 2-turn lethal here. And with a kill command as the option,
yeah, he's
certainly looking
got it real
worrisome. I think Timberwolf even. Because how is he going to clear?
6 damage over 2 turns compared to
5 damage over 2 turns.
Yeah.
For 1 mana as well. I'd take the Timberwolf.
Play the Timberwolf. The Timberwolf. Look at me going full Korean.
Timberwolf.
Yeah, you took the Timberwolf. I'm glad we're all on the same page here.
Yeah. And you can play the Lynx as well, and that's like even more Timberwolf value.
So much for that life lead, huh?
Yeah, and it will set up 2-turn lethal pretty easily here. So Boommaster Flark is definitely not going to do it, and that is going to be the concede. Coco, unfortunately, running out of steam.
He didn't even play the Leroy before conceding.
I know. I wanted that last turn.
I feel like
the
his
Leroy
concede play
man.
could have been a little bit better. But
you have to remember that Hearthstone is a very mental game as well, and your use of emote spam is what can win you games.
That's true. You got to get into the head of your opponents.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have to see as we're straight into game number 2. We'll see what the changes are. It looks like with that framebot in hand, Coco's decided to stick with his primary. Oh no, that's also in his tertiary deck, but it's not in the secondary. So let's see what the differences are for this one. Unleash the Beast is in there. Couple of Direwolf Alphas as well. It's a really interesting sort of mix of a deck.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the only
Unleash.
one that has Direwolf Alpha, so he is playing his tertiary. So just the double Unleash the Hounds, actually in this one.
Double Unleash, which is interesting. We've actually seen the majority of mech hunters either tech it out or only ever have one. It's a strange decision here. Boommaster Flark is still in there.
Yeah, I think it's just really good for trading on board, you know, especially if you can get the wolf with the hounds, of course.
And this framebot's going to be pretty sticky here as well, especially down on turn 2, unless he wants to coin Deadly Shot. But I mean, like those are questions you have to ask in a matchup like this, because basically the way this deck was conceived was you type in magnetize in the bottom of your search, and then you just click on all of those options and see what you can make out of it. So it is going to be the Coin Deadly. No, Coin Master's Call.
Master's Call. He's looking for some beasts.
All right, that's much better. Coin Deadly Shot would have been a lot of resources for not so much, but it is going to be a bigger hand for Fluorine. It's exactly the issue that we were talking about that happened in the last game. But now we've got a 1-4 and a 1-5 on board. And you got a lot of cards here, Fluorine, but what can you actually do to answer?
Well, he brought his own Unleash, and we talked about the value that the Wolf can bring. Obviously, a lot of trading can happen with the 1-5 and 1-4, or you can just get the magnetics going.
Yeah, we're heading into some hectic value turns coming up next for cocosasa, though. He's got a lot of options, even though he only has the 4 cards in his hand. Turn 5 looking pretty good with the Fireworks tech and Spider Bomb already in hand, so we should be able to wrestle back the board relatively effectively, and that's if he doesn't still have it under control, because this 1-4, 1-5, as you can see in the hand of Fluorine, there's just not a lot of options to cleanly deal with this.
And so he's going to be looking at... Okay, flying the Scale Hide here.
Yep. Let's try and throw stuff on the board. Wondering where he wants to go. Thinking about whether or not he's going to comfortably top deck that Mark Shot. There is a Timberwolf there, so next turn there are going to be some options if these minions stick around. But now there can be some shenanigans with these magnetics, and that is now a 4-5.
Oh boy.
It's going to be real difficult to move, and a very clean trade here to keep hold of the board.
Yeah, and so many options, too, just to respond to anything that Fluorine can throw down. As you mentioned before, there's not really a clean clear or anything like that from the Beast Hunter, and now with the Death Rattle put on the 4-4, it's going to make it even harder.
Yeah, and you now have the option of double proccing that Death Rattle as well, with the Spider Bomb and the Fireworks tech coming down next turn, and you can feel pretty free to make just a gigantic mech. Because yes, I mean, there's Deadly Shot that's in this deck, so maybe he wants to steer clear of it, but what you're going to be doing is putting 3 little boy mechs on the field anyway. So it's not exactly going to be the easiest, so that means that the clear is going to come down ASAP here from Fluorine. But he doesn't establish anything. Board's still in the hand of the Mech Hunter.
I feel like this is kind of a weird turn for cocosasa. He has a lot of, clear. He could throw down the wolf just to try to push damage, but still at 30 health is fluorine.
Yeah, it's the resources management that you have to worry about. Here for the Mech Hunter, we saw it in game number 1. It's do you just throw everything down and hope that it survives and kill your opponent?
But then if you run
do you
into
hold
Unleash,
on to your resources?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like Unleash is an issue.
Well, he's definitely going to be pushing a bunch of damage here. 7.
Yeah. 3 cards in hand, still a lot that Fluorine can do. Timberwolf Unleash is pretty comfortable. He can even play Secret Plan alongside it, or Tracking if he feels like it. Start this one off.
If he had 6 mana, he could Unleash and Deadly Shot.
True.
And then just... the board would, still not be...
Yeah, Spider Bomb's still there, but he's going to have an empty board anyway. It's going to bring it back to neutral, and he's very happy to do that, right? Because he's the one with all of the cards. His opponent doesn't have so much.
Okay, this is interesting.
Rat Trap could be the pickup, but I mean, when there's only 3 cards in the hand,
Yeah.
I don't know whether you go for it. Freezing Trap makes the most sense to me.
If he
with
knew
all
what
this
the cards
magnetize
were,
going on.
then maybe he would pick up that Rat Trap, but he already has one, so... Okay. This is going to be a pretty good turn anyway with the Timberwolf and the Unleash.
Yeah. And that'll leave a couple of 1/1s by the looks of things. And the Timberwolf is going to bite the dust as well, but 2 1/1s is not something you're going to be too worried about. Missile Launch comes down at a pretty decent time, to be honest. Get a 5/5 on the board, potentially. Is this just trying to keep pressure?
Yeah, before he runs out of steam.
Yeah.
If you don't play
nothing else
Missile
that's
Launcher,
good, right?
yeah, what are you going to do exactly?
Yeah.
Just kind of be chilling.
Murders his own little bot.
Oh,
Man.
that poor little squeak at the
Yeah,
end.
not a fan of Wally, I don't think. Not this guy. Leok, the card we all get every time, right?
And now the Deadly
guys.
Shot, so much value.
If only
Just
we
gonna
would
take that out.
Yeah, it's just... I feel like it's happening again. And hopefully this isn't a sign of what's to come here for cocosasa with this Mech Hunter deck.
Yeah. When he just played that Master's Call when there was no pressure, it just felt like Fluorine was just hunkering down, for the later game where he could just hold on. But let's see if he can actually push damage here, as it is Hunter, and now at 14 health is Fluorine.
Yeah, widening the board here is Coco. Just doing the best that he can. See whether he will actually have a target for this missile launcher next turn. Because Leok's going to be able to clean things out pretty effectively. Animal Companion for second Leok. The dream.
Second Leok. His brother, Leon.
Dire Frenzy Leok is actually pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
I am a big fan.
Would he be able to clear
No.
if he did that, I suppose
No, but he'd
not.
have a big boy.
This is pretty nice, though.
Yeah, Marked Shot, an option. Master's Call for more beasts.
Master's Call, you could play one of your 3 manas. With Mark Shot, you'd only be able to drop a secret.
Yeah, or Hero Power, but you're probably not looking at that. He's going to be the Master's Call. I just want him to die, Frenzy the Leok, and go face. Just punch him in the dome.
Will it be? Yes, it will.
There we go. That's the dream.
His brother Leon.
All right, just trying to thin the board as much as possible. Not a lot of real comfortable trades here available on the other side as Rat Trap comes down. If you can play all 3 of these cards from hand, then we're going to get some value out of that one, but not going to happen. This is actually pretty nice for the clear. The Missile Launcher comes down onto the 2/2, and then you get trade from the 1/1. Both Leoks die after the trade from the Mecharoo.
And you're pushing damage with Hero Power.
Whoa.
He's just going face.
He's going face with both of them. All right.
Yeah.
Trying to put him on the clock. And you've got Unleash the Hounds, which is charge, not rush, guys. I forget that all the time.
And, I mean, he's doing more damage with the Missile Launcher. He's doing that. I think he needs a Scale Hide, right?
He does.
Some kind of life gain. Otherwise, we're probably going to game 3.
Scale hides an out, but Freezing Trap is also very, very good. Unleash the Hounds is a way of playing around it, but Freezing Trap is something that you could imagine that Fluorine is feeling like he has to do right now. Double Leok, though, makes these Spring Paw Links be a clear.
He's going to trade instead.
Safer play. It's going to be Freezing Trap coming down anyway. If he was playing around Unleash, he could have actually... Oh, that's just lethal. Well. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
there it is.
Sometimes things just go okay. And he had to do this, right? It could have been the explosive shot, but unfortunately only had a freezing trap. Sorry, explosive trap. And that is going to be that. Pretty clean as we even out the series. So cocosasa with that tertiary deck is able to get there. The Direwolf Alpha and the double Unleash saving him. So it feels like the closer you get to being a Beast Hunter, the closer you get to winning.
Not all going to be this fast
here so far.
Yeah. So looks like we're ready to jump into game 3 now and see who is going to pick up this first win on the main stage. As all the while, in the background, we do have the other players playing. Everybody's got to play all other 7 players. And then the 2 players that have the most wins will be qualifying for the grand finals in Xi'an. So every win counts, including the ones off stream.
Yeah, we're not actually going to be playing every match on screen. So while we're showing you this one, there are 3 others going on alongside it. Having a look at the mulligans here. Master's Call kept by Fluorine. As it turns out, pretty good card. And the double Mekaru once again in the hand of cocosasa. Did bite him in the butt a little bit in our first game. But we'll see whether he's going to be as aggressively just throwing out things like Venomizer on an empty board.
Yeah.
This time. Because holding onto that for winning back the board later is certainly an option that you can think of.
I love the rope here on turn 1. Do I play the Timberwolf or not?
That was a question I used to have no trouble answering when the game first came out. Every time I throw down that Timberwolf. It says 1 mana. It's green.
I can play it.
It's green for go.
I just want to play my cards.
Green for go. That's why it's green. This game's so easy.
Yeah.
And then I turned into a Zoo Warlock player.
Yeah. Which, by the way, we will have a little bit later on.
I know, surprisingly
Zoolock.
enough.
Ooh, that's a nice draw.
Ooh, that's real clean. I think it's green for go.
Trade the little guy.
You can trade the big guy for 3 bodies on board.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's better.
Yeah, he's happy with it.
He does have Unleash the Hounds. If he wants to answer this right away.
And actually...
And it wouldn't fully answer it, but
no.
you'd leave a 1/1.
I mean, that's what you would be playing around if he had have just ran the 2/1 in there. But with the wanting to get as much Direwolf Alpha value as possible.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What would have been the other sort of clean options on 3 mana? I don't think there were any. Might have been a mistake there from Coco.
He's thinking about whether to clear that wolf for just a second. I would say he was probably go for it.
Yeah, it's that 1 damage to face that he could have potentially got. Ursatron for the first time. This is probably one of your most important cards for actually getting stuff into your hand.
Yeah.
That this Mech Hunter has. So good to see it finally here in game number 3 for Coco.
Yeah, he did miss that in both games before. So maybe a good start here already for cocosasa. As we see on the other side, a lot of draw and the wolf still remaining on the side of Fluorine.
Timberwolf kill command to face.
Go face.
That's the mana play. It's going to be Master's Call though. Of course. I'm certainly being facetious there, guys. Shimmerfly can come down if he feels like it, but doesn't exactly do a whole lot. I'd almost consider passing, but wanting to try and see whether he gets a nice spell out of this Shimmerfly. Can utilize that 5 mana next turn.
Yeah, maybe pick up a useful secret like he did in game 1. You remember he had a giant board of 1/1s and then had to run it into an explosive trap, which is never what you want to see.
Yeah, certainly not.
I wonder.
Not exactly anything really clean here. I feel like Spider Bomb. Yeah, onto the little guy. Try not to leave yourself too open to that deadly shot. What does he value most?
What to
Oh,
do.
it's just going to be straight to face.
Yeah.
Coco remembering why he won game 2. That was because he just managed to race him down in the end there.
Might as well. I mean, if he did trade, Florian would get the spell. I suppose he could trade himself now if he really wanted to. But might want to use that for something else.
I assume Florian's just wondering whether or not to run the Shimmerfly in and see what he gets first, or whether he wants to use some sort of buffing tool, but I don't know whether the buffs are going to be helping you here at this stage. And then also, do you want to kill command? I don't think so.
He does have a lot of options. I feel like this Beast Hunter deck is pretty fun, actually, because you have to make a lot of decisions.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of options, but none of them are good.
Yeah.
Like,
that's not very fun, actually.
Yeah. I like having a lot of good options. That sounds great.
Yeah.
This is just awkward. He wishes he had 6 mana.
Well, he's going to check. The ropes. Okay, well, no.
Kill command your own face.
Running out of time.
The order doesn't matter. Misses 2 damage on the overkill for 2.
Believe he got Unleashed the Beast.
Okay.
From the Shimmerfly.
He did. So I guess Spider Bomb comes down and he could just Venomizer on top of it as well, but I like the hero power because, as we mentioned, Deadly Shot is a spell.
Yeah. It's good.
Can you see the hand of cocosasa, though? Can you see the 2 cards that are the most
that's
fun
the one.
in this matchup? If you are playing the Mech Hunter, this is what you want every time. What you want is the Khadgar, like Mountain Giant Conjurer's Calling turn to happen just before you throw down on turn 8 the Venomizer Missile Launcher.
Oh.
That's called the dream.
Oh, it's Leok back again.
Welcome back, Leok. We missed you.
He wasn't gone for all that long.
Well, I mean, that's Deadly Shot out of the hand.
He says, I'm definitely going to hero power, and that's it.
And this is actually, so this is the secondary deck coming in from Florian as well. So, decided to step away from the tertiary. It's the only one I believe. Oh, no, never mind. The Unleashed the Beast actually came from the Shimmerfly, so it could be any of his decks at this point.
Yeah, we haven't really seen any of those other cards, so maybe just sticking with the primary.
Yeah. Oh, this would be dicey. Tundra Rhino probably wants to come down when you can Die Frenzy immediately afterwards. And you know that Florian is conscious of the Missile Launcher Venomizer play, but he's going in anyway. Has the charge available.
You see cocosasa with a little nod after that one. He's like,
Yeah,
you know what's coming.
Exactly. And I can't actually do it yet. So it'll be coming next turn.
Eventually.
It means that Unleash the Beast becomes really powerful, especially when you can play Timberwolf alongside it. Ooh. You can play Timberwolf Springpaw for the double Leok effect and almost threaten lethal.
He's getting close.
Or is it lethal? I think it is lethal. Come on, it's a lot of damage.
Is this the first time we have to do math today? It's a little bit early.
It's super early.
I have my pen ready if I have to add 2 plus 3.
Yeah.
Because I don't think my brain's ready to handle that level of mathematics right now.
Yep, life's tough. Life's tough.
But, yeah, I mean...
I know that there is 7 damage presented on board at the moment. That's what I know.
He's getting there. But we're going to have to watch this turn first as the Wolf, for these trades we mentioned, the tertiary deck from cocosasa, it's getting some value now.
Yeah, he recognized it. Too dangerous to leave that one up. So expend some resources, but not too many, to be honest. And with the fact that Missile Launcher Venomizer is a guaranteed out for a board state, when he does have his opponent down to 12 health already. I think you're feeling pretty comfy as Coco.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting closer and closer every turn. You might have your Leok get Dire Frenzied. Nope, not going to be him. We're going for life gain.
I always just want it to be Leo. It's the most durable Timberwolf ever.
I know.
Amazing.
He doesn't get to see as much play as the Scalehide. He should get a chance.
Ah, well, that was a tracking, right? Yeah, so
Yeah.
Unleash the Beast is in, so it is the secondary.
Okay. You were right all along.
Yeah, I was. I just had no reason to be right. Amazing stuff. Spring Paw for the value trade. Well, not value trade, but definitely a nicer trade than what would have been a waste of 3 damage.
He's thinking, do I try to push for more?
Do I press my steady shot button? The
I think that's absolutely the way to go.
Yeah, he was. Is it worth putting 2 damage into his face with a Timberwolf instead?
He could have put down 2 Timberwolves.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Which would have added 4 damage.
It would have.
Instead of 2. But then it's like, if he has the combo, he's going to be losing it anyway, which, by the way, here it is.
We did it. It reached turn 8.
Yeah.
And we managed to get it down. So.
Oh, look at that draw. That's pretty good.
That ain't bad off the
like
top.
that one.
And plays right into Unleash the Beast immediately afterwards to threaten loads of damage. Oh, man.
He's thinking about whether to trade with Unleash the Beast instead. But I guess the deadly shot is
I mean, you have to trade with Unleash the Beast and a Lynx.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very...
Or a Wolf.
You get a 2-for-1 with this deadly shot anyway.
Yeah. Deadly shot seems like way more value.
Yeah. And then just play the Unleash the Beast, dude. Just put it on the board. Yeah.
He's like, are you sure? I'm not sure.
He doesn't want to miss out on a turn that he can steady shot, but presenting the 5 damage when your opponent doesn't exactly have a lot of rush tools, right? Like,
ooh, he's going to go against it.
Okay. Sets up another couple of rushes anyway. Do you throw out the Lynx? Yeah, just do it, man. Don't be scared. All right, Galvanizer, not going to do anything at all.
All right, he's looking for it now. Something to help.
And remember, this is guaranteed lethal if this board isn't cleared and there's no taunt put down, because double Timberwolf will mean that even on board there is just 9 damage.
He can get the rush from the Unleash the Beast.
Yeah, it's just not really.
You're only removing. Well,
yeah.
I guess that's removing 3. Would you? So he'd be put down to 1.
Yep.
If he takes out one of these.
Yep.
Which is better than
also,
dying, I guess.
But I mean, he has no heal, right?
He didn't do it though.
Galvanizer going to come in. And that's just that.
Yeah. He says, oh yeah, no way you can have lethal next turn.
I've got the biggest Galvanizer ever. And double Timberwolf is going to do it.
Yeah, he used to be a little boy. He's a big boy now, but he's going to be dying anyway as double Timberwolf. Cocosasa is not happy with that one.
No.
Little comments to himself after that, saying...
And he's commenting about the float of that one mana. He's like, why did you play the Timberwolf last turn?
Yeah.
You know, mana efficiency, dude. What is this?
That's just good play. I mean, to keep that away as... Fluorine is going to come into our first best of 3 on stream and take his first win. Already off to a good start.